Welcome back, my little recusants, to another episode of our Final Fantasy 13 Let's Play. So on our quest for 100%, we're after getting a useful little item from this quest right here. If you want to go back and look at the previous episode, when you beat the Rakshasa, you actually get a collector's catalogue, which allows us to gain new items or more regular items from our drops, and then we also get the teleportation stone to base camp, which is a nice kind of central area of Grand Pulse to kind of go into. And then we're finally now kind of with a good few missions under our belt, just going to ski-daddle along back to the central Arctal Steep, back where we started all those episodes ago before we went on our couple of different monster hunts. And we're going to pick up one more hunt. It's just out and over this way. And basically our hope then is that we can pick up this new hunt here. And this will lead us towards the next part of Pulse that we need to explore. Which then progresses the story, which will all be great. There are obviously loads of different and loads of other seat stones, like that teleport one right there. That's kind of glowing behind us. But look, we will circle back. We will get there eventually. And as I say, we're going to go for mission number 10, Hollow Hope. And it is basically just over yonder. So we're going to just look on the map here quickly if you ever get stuck. And you can kind of zoom out with the 1 and 2 buttons there, because over there is where the story wants us to go, and just a little bit lower is where that star is. If you zoom out, they're over there. So we're gonna once again avoid those big turtle things. We won't avoid them forever, but certainly right now they would be a massive instant game over, shall we say. But yeah, running towards Cocoon in that background in the sky drop, like, it really is just super pretty. And as we're just making our way over here, when you end up seeing 2 different types of monsters fighting, now I was mistaken in thinking it's like an instant preemptive strike, but what is handy at the very least is that they all have half their HP missing. So as you can see, the wolves and the goblins were fighting each other. They got them down to half hit points. And then they're now turning their combined attention on us, which I wasn't quite expecting. And with just my lackluster paradigms, I'm just not expecting that. Vanille does drop. And Hope doesn't have raise. So we need lightning to raise. And at the moment, lightning seems just to be getting interrupted and dropping the raise command, which is not great. Vigilance would definitely be much better on the menu, but eventually we do get Vanille back up into the fight, and we just need, I don't know what we need. There's a lot of stuff happening here, and it's kind of like, oh, what do I pick, what do I pick, what do I pick? Hoping just to get enough damage to start thinning the herd. So with 2 of the wolves gone, we're just left with 3 of the goblins now. But again, the goblins are not to be underestimated. They do an awful lot of damage, and I should have swapped to healing way sooner. And what I'm actually doing is I'm looking up to the paradigms, being like, there has to be some sort of paradigm where somebody's on healing and the rest of us can keep attacking. But as it happens, we don't. So that very much needs to be corrected, and is a huge oversight on my part. Just not having a Commando Ravager, medic, or just anything else with a medic. Just so we can stay on a bit more of an offense than just 2 medics with the Saboteur. Like, even if it was 2 medics and a Ravager or something, or... yeah, but look, I didn't have it. That's what made this fight way more difficult than it needed to be. But the only positive is that we get an awful lot of experience, which is fabulous. But yeah, it by no means is a 5-star finish, you know? So apologies for that subpar showing. But again, just to show you that Grand Pulse is not simple and easy. And a fight like that gave us 3,000 experience, which isn't a bad number by any means. We're going to quickly hop over to the Crystarium, get some more strength for lightning, and then move her further along into more HP and that roll level that we're just dying to get. And obviously we then have 7,000 to give to everybody else. So once again, moving Saz back to Synergist and kind of finishing out that. He got his roll level. So now it's just the case of getting the other little elements there. And unfortunately for Saz, like his stats just... he's kind of very middle of the road along with Lightning. But like Lightning just has more offensive and medic. Like I think Lightning's sort of combination of starting paradigms just lend her to better kind of synergy with other characters that have way more strength or HP or whatever the case may be, you know? Just scooching Snow further along his Sentinel path and then moving Fang further along Sentinel as well. Counter-attacking does more damage. So, nice little passive ability there for her. And with everyone fully topped up, let's skedaddle over to this Seatstone mission. Just once again, double checking the map. And trying to find where I am versus where it is. And we find another save point, which is nice.
We may get back to Cocoon someday. I'll have to tell my dad.
Maybe when you get back to Cocoon, you can then bring your dad to Pulse. Wouldn't that be nice? And again, just admiring the scenery, the beauty. Like that's basically a screensaver right there. Just Lightning looking over to Cocoon. Super pretty. And yeah, I just cut out me meandering through the map, just being like, where are we going? What are we doing? Please help.
Check this place out.
And in exploring, we come across this. Just a pack of wolves. And we luckily avoided any negative statuses there, which is great. Oh, spoke too soon. Hope got poisoned. But just showing off the absolute power of Runga. And once again, Hope drops. And Vanille's probably going to also drop. So let's just get Hope back up. No interruptions, that's good. And Hope with the just high levels of healing from just his high magic stat, you know? Absolutely amazing stuff there. I don't know how Vanille's still alive. Oh my goodness, she's still there, oh my god. I deserved to get punished there for that. That was so bad.
Thanks.
And now, thank you, Hope, finally giving me elemental affinity there with the Ice Strike, and now, bam, all over. Super easy. Like, it just also sometimes frustrates me when the AI just won't prioritize, oh, maybe if I gave Lightning Bravery and then Frost, she could have just wiped all of the different monsters there super duper quickly. And going a bit off the beaten path, just kind of following the little arrow there, and I quickly realized, oh, actually, this might not be the way I want to progress. It's kind of bringing me around a little loop, but this is actually at a much higher elevation. We need to basically be going around the corner and down. But I'm like, oh, there's like 2 behemoths, we can give it a go and try and get that treasure chest. But spoiler, it ends in a very quick annihilation.
No.
So, yeah, I just cut that out. It was really bad, and let's not try that again. Now, the area we're about to show you, a lot of different guides on the internet say this is one of the better grinding spots in the game. I don't agree, and let me tell you why. The spot that I'm going to tell you about later in the episode, the other spot, now that you have the collector's catalogue, gives us more bomb ashes, gives us different fights, gives us like bomb ashes, circuits, like different inorganic materials to give us big EXP boosts. But what people say is this fight between the behemoth and the giant wolf is the fight that we need to be in. And I highly disagree. Now granted, it gives a wonderful amount of experience. It gives good experience. And so long as we stagger the behemoth and basically take it out really quickly, the other enemy isn't that bad. And admittedly, once we get higher levels of Crystarium and higher levels of damage output, we can rinse and repeat this incredibly quickly.
Thank you.
And you'll see there, it was after the behemoth fight I cut it out, but I basically put on a bunch of different types of paradigms just to allow us to work a bit better.
Time for another approach.
Getting rid of the negative stats there, getting rid of unvigilance and poison and all that bad stuff, and healing up hope again. He's so fragile, does so much damage, but really weak to getting this one shot.
Be ready for the next fight.
With that fight complete, we do get 5 stars and we get nearly 7,000 crystal points, which is a lot. Like, it's not insubstantial, and the fight wasn't overly horrific. But in the next little area, in this next dungeon, just down this hill and around the corner, you're able to fight a bunch of robot enemies that aren't that hard. They're weak to thunder. Hope actually gets Thundaga in his Ravager tree, like at this tier, at stage 8 of the Crystarium. Hope can get Thundaga, and when you just power him up with a bunch of magic boosting items, he just does so much damage, and these like bunch of different robot fights end really quickly. It's a nice little loop, and I just think it's a better one grinding spot for crystal points, but also you're getting way more components for leveling your items. But we got a preemptive strike on this this monster hunt, and realistically, with a couple of Libras and a bunch of the D protecting, we are going to win this. Like, Hope is doing 23,000 per Aurora. Just watch this again. Like, yeah, crazy high damage. Easily stopped. Easy 5 stars. Like, we beat it in 30 seconds. We had 2 minutes to finish it. And we get some lovely superconductors, a really good big boost to our equipment when we go to level it up. And you see what's frustrating is that was also a teleport seat stone. And the problem is we didn't finish enough of the seed stones to activate that to do its mission.
There's a way through here.
So we will have to circle back. But that's the lovely way of the game saying, you know, this is how we progress with the story. And in this underground is where we're going to find all these robot monsters. And it's going to be great. We're going to get an awful lot of grinding done off screen, but I will just quickly show you the loop, the battles, and what to expect going forward. But we get that lovely Vile Peaks music again, like the kind of
I don't even want to think how many
haunting
bad
drums.
things must be waiting for us. What do you want me to do?
Now, just keep up, Vanille. So once again, we have a handy save point, which is always really useful for going through and, you know, upgrading your stuff, which is what we're definitely going to be doing. We're going to get lots of really useful items, item drops from battles that'll allow us to sell those items for money or just put them straight into our equipment. But watch how quick this fight is. Blitz, blitz, and then the guys just start unloading with Thundaggers. And then D-shells to make the Thundaggers even more effective. Hopping Vanille over to also be Ravager. And then in a very quick instant, with absolutely no risk of death, no trouble at all, like no worry of, oh, is the behemoth going to like break out and take me out in one hit, or is it all going to give too much damage? We ended up getting, in 35 seconds, we got basically 2,300. So 3 of those would be a minute and a half, which means you're getting roughly the same EXP per time, but you're also fighting 3 or 4 different enemies and having the chance to get item drops more. We get a new weapon for lightning. This one has the stagger lock ability, and I can't remember if I told you this already, but basically stagger lock means that particular character cannot trigger stagger. So if all of your characters have stagger lock weapons, nobody will trigger stagger. It'll just stay on whatever its top percentage of stagger will be. But if you have different characters, then you can just put one on your main commando. They're not going to be triggering stagger more than likely, but they're going to have such high bonuses to their stats, it's going to be unbelievable. I'm going to just tell you right here and now, I'm going to be making Fang's stagger lock weapon become her ultimate weapon, just because it gives her such stacks of damage that it's pretty good. And as you can see, even so far, just those 2 battles, I've been getting drops of items fairly regularly. And if we look at this one here again, this one 3,000 and 3 different drops of items, because keep in mind, it's not even just the fact that, okay, you're fighting multiple enemies, and those multiple enemies all have a chance of dropping something, and then with the collector's catalog, it's only amplifying those chances again. So the more fights you can get in that are pretty simple and have multiple enemies, great. And the real secret here are these dodecahedron looking fellas. And their whole thing is they're bombs. So they give bomb cores, bomb ashes, and those are great components to allow you to level up your equipment and things like that. So once you're able to defeat them, and like all the guys here have fire, so absolutely no bother to them. Lighten them up like fireworks on the 4th of July. Simple as. And again, we're getting spoils at every single thing, and I'm just skipping through them because I'm like, oh, I don't really care. I just want to show the loop, you know. But here we have bombs and the robots. So very, very good. And we're getting the spell or D-shell as well, so making the fires even better. And that's actually a handy trick I just showed there as well, is if you cast Runga with your commando and then paradigm shift, even when you're having that little vulnerable moment of where they're like, oh, they're changing, so they might get hit by something. If you cast Runga beforehand, there's a delay on it, that your Runga explosion will happen in the midst of the paradigm shifting, and Runga in general is so powerful that it kind of bounces smaller enemies up into the air. So if you manage to stun them with your Runga, then you've paradigm shifted perfectly. And again, Hope just lightning after lightning like he's fucking Chris Hemsworth and Thor, you know? And again, I didn't like leave the spoil screen up for very long, but you can see that we did get spoils, and all you have to do is skedaddle back to the save point. And the best thing is, when you're running backwards, you're going to get preemptive strikes, which means you're going to get through these fights even quicker. The fights are respawning, you're getting the experience on the way over and the experience on the way back, and it wasn't so bad, Hope, you're right. In 8 seconds, you've now gotten 2,000 experience and the chance of getting really good equipment, or not equipment, really good item drops from loot to then be able to sell in the shop. And we're just going to make a quick little save here, and then we're going to hop into upgrade. And if we can just hop over to Vanille's weapon, that'd be great. Just showing you here that in general it's very good to categorize all your stuff, so all of the organics at the top, all of the inorganics in the middle, and then your changing catalysts at the bottom there. But hopping over to Vanille's staff there, we're going to just try and give it some organic materials to make that ×3, and once it's ×3 we're going to stick those superconductors in there for a good boost of EXP for her weapon, and get it to a star as well, because during the pre-Bartandalus fight I basically maxed out Hope and Lightning, and it's just unfair that Vanille was just lagging a little bit behind there. So with that, we're going to hop over to the Crystarium as well, because like, again, that was just one, well, I know we kind of fought the Seedstone mission and the other thing, but again, in only a couple of fights it's 20,000 CP. So like 1 or 2 crystals activated, 2 crystals and a half basically, and it's not very long to that loop at all. And as well as that, if you're stuck for money, you're actually able to sell those digital circuits and those other bits and pieces if you need to have money to buy a bunch of sturdy bones to get ×3 multiplier and things like that. So, you know, there's lots of different options to think through and to realize when you're doing this little grind sesh here. And I hope you guys don't mind grinding, because I grind here an awful lot, and when you come back you are going to see the stats are going to be incredibly different. But that's pretty much going to be this episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys are excited now that we're kind of progressing more into the story and making our way actually to Erba, Fang and Vanille's home. And until next time, leave a like if you've ever used the spot that I'm talking about as a grind spot. And until the next episode, I will talk to you then. Have a good one. Bye bye.